What's up, my know-it-alls? Well, it's that time again. That's right. We're going to talk about She-Hulk, Episode 2. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with Mrs. Know-it-all. So she's going to give her 2 cents because I tell you what, we fell in love with this show. We probably watched Episode 1, I don't know, a dozen times since last week. And then
I didn't get to tell you about it, so
right on.
My perspective.
There you go. So we'll do a quick recap of that and then go back into the actual episode for this week. All that and more. Stick around. Yeah, man. So the show is She-Hulk, and Jennifer Walters is doing her thing again. I liked the episode.
I did too. I have
Yeah.
fallen in love with this. With
Oh,
this
the
series.
show's doing really good stuff. I think it's giving us a breath of fresh air, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of episode 1?
Okay, so real quick, episode 1. We had talked, and the only thing I could really find that I had a problem with was her hair. when she's Hulk-ish, when she's She-Hulk.
Yeah.
She has straight hair, and she's got curly hair, and
Super curly hair. See,
that'd be like really cool just to keep her. Yeah, see, that would so. But overall, I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
And I heard you gave it a little higher than me.
Slightly, but yeah.
So, but no, I love it. I'm into it.
Nice.
I'm into it.
Okay, so this week's episode is called Superhero Law, and it sees Jen Walters literally on the heels of last week's episode getting fired at the bar by her boss. And so, because apparently it's too high profile, whatever else, and they ultimately get a mistrial because of the guy, the other side manipulates the whole thing. You end up having a mistrial. She ends up trying to find a job, and you get this montage where she's sort of going through. It's her sitting at desk after desk after desk after desk, and the environment changes and everything shifts. And ultimately, it's that she's consistently not being hired, and the reason she's not being hired is because they don't. I think it's classic. I don't want to say bigotry because I feel like that's too big of a word, but that might be
Bias?
what it is. Yeah, I guess.
All the lawyers seem to be afraid that it would
Turn it
be
to
more of a liability than actually a help.
So it comes across a couple of lawyers. A couple of lawyers come across almost like they feel like she would be a sideshow. Like somehow superheroes aren't serious enough for the law to take them seriously, which I don't, which I take umbrage with. Anyway.
Yeah.
And so on the heels of getting fired, you get to see Titania Maslany, her character Jennifer Walters, going home, and she gets to see her family. And I thought that was I enjoyed. A lot of familiar faces around the table here. Of course, Sarah Haley Finn is doing such an amazing job casting everybody in and all the MCU stuff. And so we get to meet Ched, which is, if you remember from last week, they were talking. Bruce
I'm not the only brilliant
Bruce and
one
Jen were talking in the car, and he's not the only genius in the family, and Ched apparently is also one. And
so we meet Ched.
Yeah, totally. And it was. I like the direction the show went in this week. So basically, once she has dinner with her family. She is back at the bar, and she's like, sorry, I'm discount drinking now. You can't.
She can no longer pay for my
totally.
my 6-figure student loans for going to law school.
Absolutely. And so but she gets visited by the Mr. Holloway, the guy who was he was on the opposing side last week in the court case that she lost. He's the one who actually made it end up being called a mistrial because they turned it into like a show trial. Literally the thing she's trying to fight. Anyway, he's starting a superhero law division, of which she is there, and it's. I liked the fact we got to see Josh Segarra, his character this week, and you get to see kind of several other characters who are going to eventually become that superhero law group. And she, of course, is told she has to be in She-Hulk form to be a lawyer.
I felt really bad.
Oh, totally.
Right there.
Yeah.
And then we meet.
You get to see the Abomination again, Tim Roth.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
because we saw Tim Roth. We didn't see the Abomination.
Yes. No, for sure. And then, so they get and that's the scene we've seen before in some of the promos where she's like, it's a conflict of interest, and he signed a conflict of interest waiver, and so they get to meet for the first time, and he sells her on the fact that he's ready to go, he's all healed, he's all natural.
Yeah.
He's all very, like, namaste.
All day.
All day.
I love that line. I'm sorry.
For sure. No, same. So then you get to see a little bit. Obviously, She brings with her paralegal, played by Ginger Kazana. She plays Nikki Ramos.
I love her paralegal. Whatever they're doing with that character, she's fun. She's a lot of fun. I like what she just.
Oh yeah, no, she's great. I like her. And so then I know that we're gonna get obviously. So obviously, I don't know why you're watching the show if you don't know that we spoil everything. It's literally a recap and review. So after the whole incident with Emil, Blonsky rather, she calls Bruce. We get to see a little bit of him again, which is really nice. And she said she feels very free that it's out there in the world now, which is great. And so I think she's on her way to becoming a really cool superhero. So overall, what are your thoughts with regard? Go ahead.
I like when she was talking to the Abomination. What's his? I don't know his real name in the.
Emil Blonsky.
Emil Blonsky. Okay. When she was talking to him, the spark on why she should take the case was it because it was government funded.
Yes.
It's a government experiment, and I kind of felt like that was when she realized that she's like, "Yeah, I'm totally taking this now."
Right, and so she's
that
taking
was kind of,
I like. Come to find out, dude wrote Bruce an apology letter and a haiku and
a haiku,
which I was like, okay, and so he's like, yeah, we put all that behind us and stuff, and it was very cool. So I'm trying to think how because it ended so abruptly. This episode was like literally.
It was 26 minutes,
dude,
maybe.
It was a hot 26.
It went really. All of a sudden, we're like, wait, it's over.
Yeah, it was almost a whole 10 minutes shorter than last week. So then right after talking to Bruce and sort of getting his blessing, if you will, on the whole scenario.
Yeah.
So she gets on the phone, she calls back Holloway, and come to find out, he says, oh, that's great. No, totally. Absolutely. I'm so glad that you're going to take the job. Now turn on the news. And
he hangs up.
Yeah, man.
That's the part we should have known.
And she gets to see firsthand, apparently the Abomination has escaped. Footage was revealed that shows him in an underground fight club, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And this is the part where I think Wong's going to come in next week. So for those of you who haven't seen Shang-Chi, that's what we're talking about, is that scene in Shang-Chi where he's in the underground fight club. It's Emil, and when they go through the portal, when Wong's like, you need to learn how to pull those punches a little better, whatever. Through the portal, you can see his cell with the red bars and the whole bit, and so you see him going back to that place. So yeah, it's very, and then of course that's how the episode ends.
I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. It looked like a Dazed Off, but as you were talking, I was picturing. I'm like, I didn't realize that's where he was going back to. I'm gonna have to go back and look now on the movie.
Yeah, totally.
We just watched it too.
We did. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi's one of my favorites. Super, like, it goes by at a quick clip. You can put it on and just enjoy yourself. Anyway. So yeah, man. All right. So I'm trying to think. There you go. Now you know. And if knowing is half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What's the know-it-all indexes for this? Indices. Man, maybe that's the plural form of index. Maybe.
Let us know.
What is it? Yeah, totally. What are the know-it-all ratings and indexes for this week? You go first.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Right on.
8 out of 10. Yeah. I just wish it was a little longer. That's all, because it was a fun episode, and I really like this. I mean, I think.
This felt to me like a tether episode, and by that I mean it felt like it belongs in the middle of two things. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I still enjoyed it, absolutely. I'll go with you. I'll do an 8 out of 10 also. I feel like 8 out of 10 is decent for where we are right now. Hopefully, episode 3 is usually, if I didn't like the show, I always try to give most shows until episode 3. So episode 3 is where you usually expect certain things to start happening. A little bit, the overarching plot, if there is one, starts to come out. And the characters themselves begin to be very well defined. And you begin to start kind of seeing how this thing starts to suss out in terms of the story they're telling. So next week's episode will definitely be the one that kind of sets some priorities in terms of what the show's going to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. All right, guys. Well, I'm super excited you're joining us. I'm pumped. Comment below. Let me know what you think.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, always. Mrs. Know-it-all is always welcome here. So again, like, subscribe. Liking helps us in the algorithm, so people know that we're here again. And ultimately, share the show, man. Let people know to be part of the Know-It-All Nation. I'm working on some things, and hopefully we'll have some stuff to announce real soon. So yeah, man. Never forget.
Everyone loves a know-it-all.
See you next week.
Bye.